My son Stephen, last week after service, said, "Dad, you need to really focus on walking through life." In other words, walking between the worlds, the spirit world and the human world. He says, "I think this is where people struggle the most." And I think he's right. Every day, we're faced with countless demands. We have jobs, bills to pay, families to care for, and goals to achieve. There are challenges and stresses that we face head on. This is the human experience, full of ups and downs, joys and struggles, the tangible, practical aspects of living. And this is where most of us live, and we get caught in it. Think about it. What are you worried about today? Is it about your job? Is it about your partner? Is it about your kids? Is it about politics? What is it that you're worried about? Is it your health, your body? What are you wrapped up with? But you realize you are in human form and you are living on a planet at this time. So you can't just negate your responsibilities. You see, if we only live on the human plane, though, focusing solely on external achievements and day-to-day concerns, we'll start to ask, what is the purpose of our life? Or is there a purpose in our life? You see, the human idea of working, accumulating wealth, surviving, being with all the physical stuff, I don't care if you're a millionaire, a billionaire, or you don't have any money. Everyone's struggling to find meaning in life, and you can't do that in the material world. You can't do that in the human plane. There's got to be something more. I know in my life, I'm cruising along in life. I'm not religious in any way, shape, or form. I left the Catholic Church at about 16, never cared for institutionalized religion afterwards. And then I pursued the American dream, moving up the corporate ladder, getting the country club, having the home, the children, the wife, everything. I had it. 47, I asked, there's got to be something more. And for me, my midlife crisis was exploring this thing called spirituality. Once I started to explore that, I found the other dimension, the dimension that gave my life its meaning. You see, the spiritual aspect of life is where we feel connected to something greater than ourselves. Whether you call it the universe, God, consciousness, or simply inner peace, it's a part of us that longs for meaning, purpose, and a sense of deep connection. I truly believe that with the body and with the mind, we're seeking to connect with that which is greater than we are. We're seeking to reestablish that sense of oneness. We're a part of the whole. It's like the baby trying to reconnect with the mother. We're trying to reconnect. We are, and this is the funny thing, is when you really break it down, you and I and everyone is a point of consciousness within infinite consciousness. And we're seeking to experience the infinite consciousness. If I break it down even in a different way, you are a drop of water, and all of the qualities of the ocean exist within you. But you believe as a drop of water that you're separate from the ocean. And what you're seeking is the connection to the ocean that in reality you're always a part of. And that's what we're seeking. You see, we can only assess the spiritual side through ideas or practices like mindfulness, meditation, prayer, simply being present. It's found in the quiet moments of reflection, in the beauty of nature, in the acts of kindness, and in the recognition that there's more to life than just what we see and touch. It gives us a sense of peace and alignment that goes beyond the physical. Think about when we were breathing earlier in the meditation prior. Just taking long, slow, deep breaths causes us to connect at a different level, at a different energy rate, at a different frequency. It's not just breathing, it's conscious breathing, realizing that what you're doing is you're breathing life in. And then you realize it's not you breathing, it's life breathing you. See, it's easy to get lost too in the pursuit of spirituality. Many people feel like they need to escape the realities of life to be truly spiritual. They may think they need to renounce the world only to find peace, but that's not the case. Our spirituality is meant to support and enhance our human experience, not to separate it from us. I see two camps here. One totally centered on the human experience, one totally centered on the spiritual experience, and everyone in both camps is miserable because they're missing half of themselves. And when you're missing part of yourself, you're lost. You see, there's a myth out there, and that myth is that the spiritual requires us to transcend the human experience. But real, true spiritual growth happens through human challenges. The stress, the frustration, the disappointments. All of these are opportunities for spiritual practice. Every moment of life, especially the difficult ones, offer us the chance to grow our spiritual awareness. Growing your spiritual awareness is the idea, can you be fully present with whatever life is happening, what life has happening around you? And can you be non-attached to it, experience it in its completeness, and once it's over, move on to the next experience? Or are you going to remain attached? Are you going to create your preferences? I don't want that to happen. Oh my God, that happened to me 25 years ago and I'm still living it. No, let it go. Spiritual awareness is the process of seeing what's serving and what's not serving, and what's not serving, you let go. I know that in spirituality, when I go to India, they say, you've got to transcend the human experience. You've got to give up your wealth. You've got to give up sex. Whoa, time out. It's not give them up. It's give up your attachment to the fact that you believe that they're the source of all that life is. No, they're not the source of all. But you have a body, you have a mind, you live in a material world. Enjoy it. Don't be attached to it. Don't think it's the center of everything, but it's a part of the human experience, and never give that up. You don't have to transcend the human experience. You have to become unattached to the desire of constantly having those experiences. When they show up, enjoy them fully, completely, and perfectly, and then move on. True awareness happens when we recognize that spirituality is not something we do on the side. It's something we bring into our human experience. It's about living from a place of connection, meaning, and presence in all that we do. When we embrace both aspects of ourselves, the human and the spiritual, we begin to see that they're not in conflict at all. In fact, they need each other. You can't have a spiritual experience without the human, because without the human, there's no contrast. So without the human, all you would know is nothing. You would know nothing because there's nothing to compare against. It's the duality that gives us our experience. It's the duality, though, that causes us addiction. Spirituality pulls us to be non-addicted. It pulls us to be non-attached. You see, spirituality and the human experience, they work hand in hand. So how do you balance the spiritual and the human? The first way is simply to be fully present in every moment. Whether you're washing dishes, mowing the yard, spending time with loved ones, bring all of your awareness to that moment. Be fully present. When we do this, being fully present, we're practicing mindfulness, which is a deeply spiritual act. Our presence transforms even the most mundane tasks into opportunities of spiritual growth. When we look at the life of Paramahansa Yogananda, the first time he had that mystical experience of oneness and he came out of it, the first thing his guru, Sri Yukteswar, did was hand him a broom and said, start sweeping. You're in the human form. Don't think because you've had that mystical experience that life stops, that you don't do the human things. No, life continues doing the human things. So in reality, you'll never know if someone's fully enlightened, I don't even like that term, aware or not, because they're still living in the human, fully aware of it. So secondly, to bring balance to the spiritual and human is align your decisions with your highest values. Whether it's practicing kindness, honesty, or compassion, every choice we make can be an expression of our deeper spiritual beliefs. It's not about making grand gestures. It's not about bringing our highest values. It's about bringing our highest values into ordinary moments. Every decision that I make, I ask the question, is this supporting what I value most? Perfect time to consider that right now. We've got an election in front of us in the United States. We've got candidates. I think we've got 4 candidates. They want you to believe there's only 2. When I went to look to vote, I asked the question, which candidate supported my views the most? I didn't care what anyone else thought. I cared what supported what I valued most. And I chose that because for me, being in alignment with my values is more important than caring what anyone else thinks. Because at the end of the day, you live with you. You will die with you. The most important thing that you will remember throughout your life is, were you in integrity with what you valued most? What other people think, it's not your concern, nor should you care about it. Again, it's not your concern. They have their preferences. You're not here to meet them. You're here to live your most authentic life. The next thing about balancing spiritual and human is create a space for stillness, a space for quiet. Even in the midst of a busy life, it's important to make space for stillness. Whether it's through meditation, journaling, or just a few moments of quiet reflection, giving yourself the gift of stillness helps you reconnect to your spiritual side. The stillness, the quiet, recharges you so that you can more fully engage with daily life. Stillness eases the mind. Stillness brings you out of the stress. Stillness brings you out of anxiety. When you diminish the stress and the anxiety, you have a clearer vision of how to live your life. You have a clearer vision to make the right decision. But when you allow fear to come in, the only way to stop fear is to be still, to be quiet, and know who you truly are. Be still and know the I am, the soul that you are, the point of consciousness you are. When you do that, fear disappears. Also, another method, and certainly not the last, but the last one I'm going to talk about today, is to accept imperfection. Understand that life is messy. Some days you feel more spiritually connected. Other days you might get caught up in the demands of daily living. The key is to accept that it's okay. Remember, every day is an opportunity to practice finding balance. And every moment is a chance to return to that balance. That's what I love about life. I'm constantly moving in and out of balance, but I'm constantly bringing myself back. That's why having a meditation practice in the morning, first thing, Start the day in balance. In the late afternoon, early evening, meditate again. Bring yourself back to balance. At night, as you're going to bed, practice gratitude for everything that happened in your day, bringing yourself into balance. What happens then? You sleep better. When you sleep better, your body performs better because you're in homeostasis. When you're sleeping better, your body has a chance to rejuvenate, regenerate, and replace itself in a healthy way. So balance, spiritual and human, is critical. Living in balance, or living a balanced life, it's not about choosing between the spiritual and the human. It's about weaving them together into one harmonious whole. And my friends, that's the purpose of life. To live in balance and have a sense of deep connection and deep fulfillment. And what the beauty of it is, you've been given the power through your mind and how you use it to do so. But only you can make it happen.